Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I will try to weld for the very first time. I have bought this very cheap welder on eBay and I generally have no idea what I'm doing, but I've already managed to set up the welder, and if we do well on this sheet we're going to try to do some work on the GT. Alright, I read all the safety precautions. You're supposed to put one of the ground wire on the metal, and I have some safety gloves with me, one cheap mask, and let's see what is going to happen. Okay, so here's the results of my very first welding. As you can see, I got a lot of nutting and splatter. After some adjustments, I kind of got line, maybe, but I think there's still a lot more left to be desired. So I'm going to keep trying, and I guess at one point I'm going to get it right. Well, it isn't really working out as I wanted to. The metal is either too thick or too thin. So I'm just gonna kind of try to do it on a car, and I'll try to close those two holes. Well, this is how far I got. I basically decided to kind of build everything up, and I think now I'm going to grind this down and close the little holes that are left. This is the hole that used to be there. They were about roughly the same size. Okay, for our next hole, my dad gave me a little tip. He told me to put a little washer or something and weld the washer on the surface, so I get a flatter surface and I don't have to build up as much weld as I did. So I'm going to try to kind of place it on here and then try to like weld it for a second, and I'll try it like this. Well, it kind of worked. You can see where the little washer used to be, but I think the metal was so thin that it started burning through them directly. So I think I'll just take a second washer and try the same thing again. And maybe it's going to work, maybe not. We'll see. Here we are after some grinding. As you can see, that's actually worked out pretty well, and on here there are quite some holes. Ouch, that's really hot. Well, I am done now. Here's the first hole that I closed, and here's the second one. If you're wondering why this hole is so big, it's because I accidentally have increased the power of my welder, and it started to make holes instead of weld them. So I had to put a third washer in. Now here's a washer here, here and here to kind of close this off again, but I'm generally happy with the results. There are no holes. I shine the light behind there. I think on some places like this, for example, it's going to be really thin, but this is no structural component, since the holes were so little. I don't think anything is going to happen in the future, so And next we're doing the other side, which is going to be a little bit more complicated since I have to cut a piece of metal and try to weld it on the hole here. But I guess I'll see how I'll do. Alright, I prepped everything, I hooked the welder on, and now I will try to weld this little hole. I have already cut one little piece of metal, and I'll try my best to weld it on the frame. Let's go. Well, here we are after the first test. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. It looks terrible. Hello. So, what happened now is, as you can see, I have a way better result than I used to. And the reason for that is I have researched a little bit more about how the system works and troubleshooting and stuff. And basically what I found out why everything was, because the problem that I had is as soon as I touched the metal and tried to make a little bubble, it started burning through the metal, and I got bigger and bigger holes. And this was because I had 1.8 millimeter wire, and I had my welder on the lowest setting, but it still was too much for the thickness of this of the car. So I went to the store and I bought a 1.6 millimeter wire, and as you can see, I have actually been able to kind of build up a line. And I know it looks terrible, and I know everybody can do probably better, but for my very first time and still kind of not knowing what I'm doing, I am happy with this. And this is also the reason why I'm not going to do any other welding work on my car. Well, thank you for joining me on this experience. Feel free to have a laugh, and see you in the next video. Bye.